All right, welcome back. This little segment deals with the expense reporting. I call it a cover sheet. Some people call it the expense report form itself. It's a summation of all your charges. You will have backup and receipts and documentation in order to support this. But this gives your approvers down the line a concise overview of what you're charging, who you're charging, and relative information of the sorts. This is an Excel spreadsheet that does have formulas in it, and so we advise you not to change it. Let Excel do the work for you. When you get your first copy, I would save a template. Obviously, you should put your name in there. Your vendor number should be given to you when you get your welcome message you set up. Everybody has a vendor number. Your email. Do not worry about the invoice number. The invoice number is actually a formula. Okay, don't ever change this, because once you erase it, the formula is gone. The cover sheet, the expense report form, does this for you. Let it do the work itself. The invoice date is always the date in which you open. Okay, and it will become the capture date if you save it, if you start the process. Okay. A lot of approvers want you to check whether or not you're billing hotel, corporate, or you could do both. If you got some corporate expenses as well as some hotel expenses, that's fine. Don't worry about this hotel code. In fact, probably one of these days soon, I will probably take it off for 2020 because we don't really use it anymore. The one thing we are seeing a lot more approvers want filled out, is this section here. In fact, we've seen a lot of rejections, and I can tell you now that if any point along the way, if you do get a expense report rejected back to you for something, you start the process over. There is a way to skip people that have approved it and go back to the rejector, but the O's, the CEO, the CFO, and the COO have decided that they don't want that option available. Because if there's a change, everybody up the chain of command should be able to see what is actually being approved. So, but you don't have to write a dissertation here. A quick note as to, I went to see these hotels, or this is a conference I went to, whatever the case may be. And then if you have some non-travel expenses, some people are reimbursed part of their cell phone bill or their home internet because they use part of it for office or something of that nature. So please give your approvers the benefit of the doubt, because they're not omnipotent and they cannot read your mind as to what is going on. Okay. As we move down the expense report form itself, it's broken into three parts: travel, meals, and then again the non-travel portion of this. We do have a changeable date kind of little calendar for a week, and there are times when your trip may go across weeks. That's okay. I mean, you can probably put you can put your costs, your expendable items, or those that which you want reimbursed, all on 1 week. We understand that. That's not as important as you having at least the backup to prove that the corporate office owes you that money. And this date is changeable, and once you change it, I've got it set today, but let's just say I want to change it till tomorrow, just for grins, 5-14-19. Then all the other days change. And if you'll notice, my capture date, the invoice date, is still today, okay? The only thing that this really makes a difference is the generation of the invoice date. Because the invoice date is basically ER and wherever your last expense is going to be. So let's say I Ubered on the 17th, and I had a $25 Uber trip, just for grins. Okay, notice ER 051719. 051719. It always takes the date of the last charge on this sheet, no matter where it is, and makes that the expense reporting number. Can you have more than one expense report that has charges that end on the same day? Yes, you can. And Use will be glad to tell you that that's a duplicate. But I will show you later on how you can trick Use, for lack of a better term, to not think a second one is a duplicate, okay? So again, wherever your last charge is, then let's say I had $13 in tolls, and you can see it's already changed up here to that date. So again, do not change this. Please leave the format in which the invoice number is generated, because when we do work with our payments in J.D. Edwards, we are looking for ERs, okay? And again, so you can have airfare, ground transportation, could be car rental, Uber, your hotel without meals, tips, skycaps, parking, and tolls. Mileage. Now this one's an old one. The mileage now is 0.58. We always will send one out at the beginning of the year with the new mileage for you to use. And others, some people will use their gasoline. If they had a rental car and they filled up, they put it down here. Some of them put it up here. Makes no difference when we're checking receipts. Okay, your meals, you have breakfast, lunch, dinner, entertainment. Corporate does reimburse some entertainment charges. That is where this goes. And then again, in our other areas here, some people get expense telephone, employee relations. The very nice people at Human Resources here at the corporate office have a little birthday celebration once a month, and one of the young ladies in HR has to pay for that, and so she codes it to employee relations. Any registration fees, and this can be subscriptions, dues, conference fees, and things of that nature. And each subsection will total up for you, and then the total amount comes down here. Don't worry about this due associate, because Use is a generic program. Some people might get a cash advance for some reason. We don't deal with that. We will deal totally with the total amount only, as far as this is concerned. That concludes this section of the training films on the expense report cover sheet or reporting form itself. In the next episode, we will talk about actually importing and actually submitting an expense report in Use to an approver. One of the two methods, and we're going to cover what I call the single PDF methodology next. Thank you.